May I come in, sir?
Please come.
Good afternoon, sir.
Afternoon. Please sit.
Yes, Atul, please introduce yourself to the board.
Sir, I'm Atul Katariya, born and brought up in village Gevra in West Delhi. I have done my schooling and graduation both from Delhi. I have done environment engineering from Delhi Technological University, and I have been a good sports person throughout my life. I have represented my school and university in various sports. Thereafter, sir, I started working as a market research analyst in a UK-based firm, where we used to frame strategies for businesses to grow their top line and bottom line.
You were in UK or you were in India?
Sir, in India, but the firm was UK based. Yeah.
Okay. Do you find any difference in Indian work culture and the UK work culture?
So it was very less formal in that firm, where for example, even the topmost management, we used to call them by their names and not by calling them sir or ma'am. And while we went from an engineering college, we were in a habit of calling even our seniors as sir and ma'am. So it took a bit time to adapt there. It was a very open culture and very humble, sir.
Which one is better, that work culture or this work culture?
Sir, I think that one is better because it gives you more confidence to the newcomers to interact with their seniors and be more open.
Have you been to the UK?
No, sir.
Let's theoretically assume, because you're also a geography student,
Yes, sir.
that you're flying from Delhi to London.
Yes, sir.
Roughly how much time do you think it will take?
So, around, I think, eight
9
hours.
hours, yeah.
Yes,
And assuming you're flying in a straight line,
yes, sir.
which countries will you fly over?
So, if we go from Delhi to UK, we'll be passing over from Pakistan, then Afghanistan, and some of the Middle East, Central Asian countries, sir.
Like
I think Uzbekistan, and then some.
And which West European countries would you fly over?
Sir, I think only Germany from West Europe will come in between. Mostly East European countries will come in.
I'm asking West European.
So, on this route, I think only Germany will be there.
Okay.
Or Austria, Hungary can be.
Okay, not France?
No, sir, I don't think so.
All right. You analyze the stock market,
Yes, sir.
correct?
Yes, sir.
Can you actually analyze it, or does it work on its own whims and fancies?
Sir, in short term, it works on its own. You cannot predict the short term movement of any stock prices. But in the long term, it can be predicted based on the analysis of different companies.
And why can't you predict the short term?
So it's basically a demand supply game in the short term. And it also depends on the perspective of different people. Some may think that the company may do poorly in the short term, and some may think it will do good. That's a perspective of different people.
In the long-term analysis, I've heard people say fundamentals of a company.
Yes, sir.
What are these fundamentals?
So fundamentals basically cover the financials of the company, their corporate governance, whether the management is clean or not. And so in financials, in fundamental analysis, they see that the revenue growth, the profit growth, the operating profit margin, the shareholding patterns, whether institutional investors are buying or not. All these parameters and the valuation, of course, they together make up the fundamental analysis of a company.
Now, if Byju's had gone public,
Yes, sir.
they were planning to file an IPO that crashed.
Yes, sir.
If at all they had gone public, based on whatever media was saying about Byju's,
Yes, sir.
do you think they would have succeeded?
Sir, I don't think so. They would have succeeded because having IPO, only some more, I think more filings, they would have been more open in the market then. But overall, their business was not working as strong as it was projected. So they were bound to fail in this manner.
Startups and their funding, from whatever little I've read, they seem to look at valuations and some imaginary profit in some distant future.
Yes, sir.
Correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, a company without making a profit and without any hope of making a profit in the next 10, 20 years,
Yes, sir.
or maybe never at all, How do their valuations rise so high?
So in this, generally they are expected to gain profit after some period of time. But if there is a company which has a prospect of not earning profit anywhere near or anyway, then they will not get any value. But generally, what happens in startup, for example, Zomato, when they were listed a couple of years back, then there was prospect that they will earn huge profit because of having
But then
duopoly.
even in Byju's, people invested billions of dollars.
Yes, sir.
So what was that based on?
So they had projections of growth, but I think the management did
If I ask you for a lakh of rupees today and tell you next year I'll be a millionaire, I'll give you 10 lakhs. Will you give me 1 lakh?
So no, probably.
Isn't it the same thing happening with companies like Byju's?
But so those companies which gave money, they have also earned good in some companies. So might be they must have thought that Byju's will make it. For example, some companies have earned very well in Zomato.
He might have earned very well, does not necessarily mean that I will also earn very well.
Yes.
So all I'm asking, my last question, don't you think this whole venture capital and startup thing is completely flawed?
Sir, I don't think it's completely flawed because in the startup investing, there is an inherent risk that if you invest in 10 companies, only 2 will succeed and 8 will fall. But those 2 will compensate for the rest of the 8 companies.
So we all live on hope.
Yes, sir.
Correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Atul, you originally belonged to Ghevra only?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Your family
Yes, sir.
came to Ghevra from where?
Sir, from Katwadiya Sarai. It's a place in near Maroli. So, but from 4 or 5 generations, we are living in Gevra.
Okay. Okay, tell me, any major problem you have seen in Ghevra?
So the haphazard development is one of the major problems. Earlier, the roads in my village used to be very wide, but they are getting narrow day by day. So there is no regulated development.
Oh, so this is a problem you have seen.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now you want this problem to be resolved. So let us look at the various pillars of democracy. So where would you go? Which is the first pillar of democracy?
So I think people themselves are one of the major pillars in democracy. So I'll start with my own, having to not encroach the road while constructing my own house.
Okay, where will you go?
So I can go to my SDM or DM of my district.
Have you been to your SDM or DM?
Sir, not for this reason, but yes, sir, I've been.
And you got access easily?
Yes, sir.
Okay. But generally, is it easy for a common man to access the...
No, sir. Generally, it is not easy.
Okay, so executive is ruled out. Okay, what other option is there? Which are the other pillar in democracy?
So then we can go to our municipal ward, people who are elected. But generally, what happens? They cannot do much because they have to take vote from those only people. So how can they?
So they'll also not do. So legislature is ruled out. Then what else can you do?
So I think this is a bigger problem in almost all of the areas in Delhi.
So you will file a PIL in court?
So I'm not aware of that process, how long it will take, how it will happen.
So it will take 20 years to resolve. So judiciary is also not an option. Then what is the option? Which is the fourth pillar of democracy?
So I think the executive, if more complaints or more people are willing to take action, then a law may be passed for the people who are encroaching on.
Yes. Which are the pillars of democracy? All are covered. Media is also a pillar of democracy. Okay? And media will print only if it's a hot story. Okay? There's one more pillar of democracy, which is the civil society. Do you think civil society is a pillar of democracy?
Yes, sir, they are.
So how will you activate the civil society in this case?
So we can take the help of some of the NGOs or other civil society organizations which are working in that area, so that they can start working with some people. There are some people in the village also who have taken the initiatives, like they are building their home 2-4 feet behind the road, who are not encroaching on even a single inch on road. So I think the best can be the people themselves. They can set examples for others and their neighbors. If one does good work, the neighbors will learn from him.
So civil society can enforce self-discipline, or if people don't listen,
It's tough for them to enforce. People will not listen to them.
so then as civil society, if you go to the executive, will the executive listen?
So yes, civil society can act as a pressure group on the executive.
Yes. So do you agree that civil society is a pillar of democracy?
Yes, sir. I do agree.
Okay. What is the number of voters in India?
Number of voters in India. So they can be around around 100 crores.
100 crore. Well, you are very close. There are 96.8 crore voters.
Okay, sir, I have taken a rough estimate.
Yeah, you're good, very good. Out of these, how many pay income tax?
Sir, it's very low, close to I think 6-7%
7% of what?
of the total population.
Yes, 8 crore file returns.
Yes.
How many pay income tax was my question?
Okay. So then the number comes even down to, I think, close to 3.
2.2 crores. Yes.
Good afternoon, Atul.
Good afternoon, sir.
So you were saying that we can't predict short-term stock indices.
Yes.
I mean stocks, and in the long run you can predict. Then why do many companies and everyone go for lots of modelings, mathematical modelings and technical analysis? What role do these have in the long run? One can go for directly fundamental analysis and do the works.
So the technical analysis is generally used for trading purpose. In stock market, investing and trading are two different ballgames altogether. Trading is mostly associated, it's a day-to-day work, and it's more like a business, that you are putting some algorithms in place and you are making bets on that daily movement or the short-term movement of stocks and making money on that basis. It does involve some kind of predictions and modeling, but again, sir, as per my experience, it does become random still.
So out of 100, how many benefit or profit from stocks?
Sir, if we consider trading, then 96% of people are not even able to beat the FD returns in trading. But in long term, most people can earn from stock market.
Yeah. Okay. So using your risk analysis and the trading and all the fundamental analysis, how strong is Indian government's fundamental, the economic aspects?
Sir, I think fundamentally,
In mind, the budget and fiscal ability.
so keeping all things in mind, I think the Indian government is in a good fundamental shape, because even in the budget, we have seen that they are focusing more on capex. They are doing long-term investing in the infrastructure, which will again be good for Indian economy, just like a company does their long-term capex. So, and then the fiscal prudence is there. The government is focusing on reducing the fiscal deficit. That again is good for government, as there will be less debt on them. So politically there is stability in the government. So I think all the things are checked and it looks good fundamentally.
Okay. So the next one. Can you tell what is this environmental engineering? What do you study in that?
Sir, in environmental engineering, it is basically subset of civil engineering, where we study the different aspects of some subjects of civil engineering and some aspects of environment. For example, the designing of sewers and the designing of sewage treatment plants Then, so the water treatment, air quality monitoring, surveying, all these topics are studied. So basically, the subset of civil engineering with elements of environment.
Do you think this particular subject has to be taken forward by mass, by many universities?
So right now, the environment engineering is offered by very few colleges in India, but the scope is increasing because recently the GATE exam is also have been started in environment engineering. Then, sir, many institutes are now directly hiring students of environment engineering. For example, BIS is also hiring environment engineers. Then CPCB is directly hiring environment engineers. The scope is increasing, and even in foreign universities, students are getting good admission, and there is also a good scope of environment.
Okay, one last question, something related to the previous sir's questions as well. As your first choice is IPS,
Yes, sir.
I'll make a statement. You just tell what dimension of social reality it is trying to highlight. The more the laws, the more the criminals in a country.
So this statement signifies that if a society is self-regulated, if the people are behaving in a good manner themselves, then we will require less and less laws. More laws are required in the society where there is more criminals, or you can say criminal activity is prevailing, to stop them. So I think the more number of laws is directly synonymous with more number of criminal activities.
Okay, thank you.
Atul, you've done engineering in environment. Can you tell me the difference between ecology and environment?
So ecology, I think it is a broader term, and it includes all the natural factors, for example, the environment and the involvement of humans' interaction with the environment as well. And environment is a subset of ecology.
Could it not be the other way around? Where environment includes even the atmosphere, and beyond that, ecology does not include that.
So I may be wrong, but I think in ecology the interaction of humans is also there with environment.
Well, look into it. Now, can you differentiate between mitigation and adaptation?
So mitigation is like stopping something to happen. We are taking steps to stop them, and adaptation is like something has already happened and we are now adapting as per those things so that in future doesn't happen.
So, after the Paris Agreement, what are the measures which India is taking for mitigation and adaptation?
So for mitigation, I think the measures like we have taken the Panchamrit intended national determined contributions, that we will reduce our carbon emission, we will make more energy through renewables, 50% of energy through renewables, and so we'll be making additional carbon sink of 2.5 to 3 billion carbon. So for adaptation, I think we are focusing on the climate smart agriculture. The government has a push on drip and sprinkle irrigation, micro irrigation, so that we can be better adapted to the environment. Then, so I think the push towards electronic vehicles is also in the part of adaptation.
Is it adaptation or mitigation? Electric vehicles.
So it will be part of mitigation, and the less pollution will be there because of them.
Climate smart agriculture. What is the word you used?
So yeah, the climate smart agriculture.
Could you explain it further, please?
So in this, basically the agriculture has to be done according to the climate of the region. For example, the Delhi, Haryana, Punjab belt is a semi-arid region, but growing rice and sugarcane here is not as per climate smart agriculture because they require a lot of water, but which is naturally not available in this region. So climate smart agriculture will say that you have to grow, say, millets or pulses in this region, which will require less water, and it will be as per the climate facilities or the climate environment there.
But in Haryana, you got rivers and you have got canals, whereas in Ahmednagar district of Maharashtra, these facilities are not available yet. They are growing sugarcane.
So the canals or river system is not very efficient. Even the efficiency of canals is 38%. A lot of water is also lost, and it cause. And when we do water intensive agriculture, it causes issues like salinity in the field. So they do help in short term, but farmers will face issues in the long term.
So could you please tell me what is the problem in Maldives? Why is it so much against India?
Sir, can you please repeat?
Maldives.
Maldives. Sir, I think it is more about their domestic politics, where their president is more inclined towards China, and I think they are more in favor of the Belt and Road Initiative of China and the debt trap policy which China is doing with them. They are looking at the short-term gains from the investment they are gaining from China, but they are not looking at the long-term friendship which they enjoy with India.
Belt and Road Initiative you mentioned just now. How is Maldives involved in that?
I think Maldives is also the part of the sea route the China is making. I'm not aware of the exact projects what they are handling, but the president looks in favor of that.
Last question. What is the difference between, say, the belt and the road? Which part constitutes the belt part and which constitutes the road part?
So I'm not sure about it, but the belt might be the sea route and the road connectivity from the Central Asia to up to the Europe. It might be the old Silk Route.
Surprisingly, it is the sea route which is known as the road. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Atul, you have given IPS as your first option.
Yes, sir.
So, what will you contribute as an IPS officer?
So the IPS officers are the one who have to be present in every situation. If there is anything happens, they are the first one to respond. So I think I'm first of all mentally and physically ready for putting extra hard work in IPS. So since I'm choosing IPS as my first option, I know that there will be a lot of hard work required in that service. So I'll be ready for that.
No, but what are you thinking where you will make the improvement in police system at the present, what you may observe?
So police people are generally seen as rude and their image is not very well with the public. So I think the better communication or training can be given to the police personnel so that I can help them in that thing. Then sir, there are small issues. For example, whenever a house is constructed in Delhi, the police personnel come and they ask for some kind of bribe. So that such practices can be stopped.
How can you stop bribing? That is, you have touched the right point. Police is known for corruption, basically. People are afraid of visiting police stations, interacting with policemen, and they want to avoid them.
Yes.
So how would you check this corruption point, which is very vital for improving the image of police?
So firstly, I will provide a good, clear message to the helpline number where people can complain easily, and I will also.
That is already there.
Sir, I think a strict deterrent has to be created for police personnel. If we punish one police personnel strictly, then 10 will get lesson from it. So I think we have to adopt a zero corruption policy or the hardline approach of not accepting anything like this if someone is proven guilty.
Another problem with corruption that people say, like in Delhi, you live in part of Delhi,
Yes.
the police stations are being sold. The SHO has been to be, whosoever is appointed SHO has to pay regular to higher-ups. What is how do you improve that?
So if I will be a senior police officer in Delhi, so the first will start from me being morally upright. If I'm not myself is not taking money for posting SHOs in different police stations, then I can be in a position to command them that they also should not take money from people. So the whole chain can be broken. It can start from an individual.
How can you reduce interface between public and police to the minimum? Do you think that can be, like in income tax, they have done online filing of returns. So there is no direct human interface. Is the same thing possible in police also?
Sir, at some places it can be done. For example, in non-core activities of police, for example, the verification of passport antecedents, and in such non-core activities can be reduced the police involvement, so that police can be involved in more their specialized field. So then e-FIR is also already there, the people has to file. But still, sir, I will believe that instead of reducing their interaction has to be made better. So that people are not worried to go to police station, or do not hesitate in speaking to a police officer.
Okay. Are there any special powers to the police in commissionary system?
So yes, some powers are there in commissioners. For example, the section 144, police commissioner can directly give orders to implement that. So then in Arms Act, the license can be given by commissioner. So then in commission system, they are directly accountable to the executive. They directly report to the executives.
Report to the executives. They are taken away from executive. Some executive powers are given to them. Why they need executive? For what purpose normally police? Suppose you are in a SP in a district. Why would you need the requirement of a magistrate? On what occasions?
So I was not referring to the magistrate, but the home minister.
That is the political bosses. They are political bosses. I am not saying. You saying executive means civil servants who are on executive side. Like in a district, we have a district magistrate. So why the police need the help of the district magistrate? On which occasions in district level?
So in district, I think commissioner system is not there. I think the public order is in the hands of the district magistrate.
I give you a problem situation. Some lady is being likely to be made sati in a village, and you are SP of the district, and there is a huge crowd standing there. And how would you, in that situation, that lady is not put on fire? How would you do? What action you will take for that?
So I'll because it is a large crowd, I'll make sure that the police very soon reaches to the spot along with the reserve police force. So being an SP of the area, the civil servants are also looked as a role model. I will try to.
You have tried every method, but you did not succeed. Ultimately, what will you do?
So then, if by persuasion I'm not succeeding, then I will use the force and take the lady which is going to be sati into the police custody.
Okay, thank you. Let's leave it. Thank you.
Okay, sir.
All the best.
Sure.
Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Bye. That's a good one.